am Simon King, and this is What's Wrong. You are probably listening to the podcast, or if you're watching the podcast, congratulations, you've passed the first test. The first test is, do you know how YouTube works? And if you don't know how YouTube works, you should look it up, because there is shit on there that will blow your mind. I saw a chicken ride a bicycle. Anyways, and now I'm just screwed up because our competition now is someone's going to be like looking for chickens riding bicycles, and they should be watching the rest of it. Like, fuck the podcast, chicken on a bicycle.
Chicken on the bicycle.
It was pretty exciting.
What?
Wouldn't it be sad if that chicken learned how to ride a bicycle and then that was the last thing it did before it became food? It's wing night.
I like my chicken talented.
You know what's great about this chicken? The smartness.
Yeah.
So super smart. This chicken's a 3-time Jeopardy champion. Anyway, enjoy the peanut sauce. Yes, if you are listening to the podcast, thank you very much. And if you're watching the podcast, thank you very much. Extra plus. And I know you can't watch this in the car. You don't have a car accident. But then go home and watch it again. Like, subscribe, share it. I am very excited. My guest today is a hilarious... A or N? A hilarious. An hilarious? And hilarious.
Hey, hilarious.
And hilarious.
Alannah Brittany,
It's an H was a vowel to be okay.
I like how I just escaped that, where I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. And a bunch of people at home is like, take his Mensa tests away.
It's like annihilate.
And okay, so it's N when there's a vowel, right? And
Right.
H is kind of silent-ish.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. An hilarious guest.
Yeah, I think it might be dialectical.
How much do you think that was just someone with a speech impediment, and then everyone in England just kept up? They were just like, we don't want Rod to feel very bad about himself.
And then in Australia, they were like, we're just going to throw an R.
Well,
Just to be different.
it's like if you take an English accent and you just make it from the southern United States, that's Australia.
It is.
That's all it really is.
Yeah, all right then.
Yeah, basically.
All
It's
right.
like, which is also, it's either a model airplane or an Australian guy. And I know that there's a lot of Australians, both, that listen to this and or watch this. Please write in and let us know if is the national anthem or not. It's been, I don't want to give away the secrets to the people at home, but it has been a while since we've recorded a podcast because we do a bunch in a row often. That is why sometimes I will have the same hairstyle, same outfit, and get progressively more drunk. It's not like I showed up and didn't.
That's why.
Because I like the idea that people are watching the episodes and then they're like, oh, it's another day, but he's fucking hammered. It's like, no, we've been here the whole time.
Also, I feel like if it's your audience, they're right there with you. They're probably doing shot for shot with you the whole time.
What did we say was the shot thing that the guests had to do a shot when we said certain thing? What was it? Disassociate on cases? Can't remember what it was. We said that a lot on that podcast.
Every time I almost fuck up, I think was one too.
Oh, yeah, but you haven't fucked up. The great
yet.
thing about this is oh, wait, hold on. What's the adjective we're doing today? We usually do formidable. Let's do formidable.
Oh, that's a
My
nice one.
formidable
Okay, yeah.
producer, Mikey Greenwood, is here with his ladies and gentlemen. Right over
Formidable
Mikey
means.
Greenwood.
Hey!
Away from the microphone. And we always...
Leading
Yeah,
away from it.
You're going to have to jump in. This is like a family dinner. There's no waiting. Like, you're just
Yay!
I am ready.
disappearing into the fly eye. That sounds like a James Bond that nobody watches.
You can tell I do stand up where I'm like, I need the microphone to go with my mouth.
Just follow it around. Just all they hear at home is just clunking. Well, we were doing that earlier, banging on the tables, like table drumming, the podcast.
songs.
Not popular.
Yeah.
Is this a Zeppelin?
Welcome to the podcast. The musical stylings of my fingers.
You had me there. I was
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I have a very...
It was you had a very CBC radio voice, like,
Yeah, that's my
like
goal.
Brave New Waves. You know what? I'm particularly happy that you're here as a guest too. For obviously you're hilarious, obviously you're a friend of mine, but more than anything else, this is the first time I've been able to drink bourbon on the podcast because you too drink bourbon. Cheers!
You got some shit
there you go,
guests
ladies and gentlemen.
then.
Yeah.
No
Well, it's
offense.
not their shit. It's
No,
their
they just
children,
don't. They just
right?
don't.
I mean, most of my
That's
guests
true.
are 11, so.
Oh, well, they should only have tequila at that age,
Right?
really. It's like clear booze only before 20.
You strengthen them up. That's what you do. Clear booze before 20. Isn't that old thing? Red Sky at night. Sailors are like clear booze before 20. Fucking forklift operator. And if you drive a forklift, sorry, but also. Right?
Also, how do you feel about mezcal? Yummy. It's like smoky tequila. It's like when white girls are like, I want to feel festive.
Yeah.
I want
it's
to
like-
puke in wood.
We're gonna puke in wood. That's nice. That's an Amish party, right? I want to puke in the wood. Been too much at the mead. Hey, Hezekiah.
I just listened to the podcast with Casey that you guys did.
Oh, it's great.
You talked about me. I
She's
was
so
like,
funny.
oh, hello.
Yeah, we talked about you.
me.
Yeah, we name checked you.
Yeah,
we threw down.
yeah, yeah.
And as if we were summoning you. It's like a comedy Ouija board. We just
Yes.
we just brought you into the fold.
I have been called dead many times.
Well, I've been asked to die many times,
That's
but mostly by agents. Like a lot of it's bad when your agent answers the phone is, "Oh, you're still alive." Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Are you still working?
That's why the college gigs have been drying up, I see. How do you feel about, like, have you done any college gigs?
No, I don't think they want me.
Yeah, see, I feel the same way. It used to be you'd want to do the colleges because they were like the rebels and the say anything you want, do anything you want. George Carlin, I think Carlin on Campus was the first HBO special, wasn't it? I don't know. I believe it was.
That sounds
Google it.
horrible. I spent a long time in university. I feel like if I go back, there's gonna be questions.
They're gonna ask. It's like when you file your taxes and it was like you should write that off. I don't want to fucking rock the boat here because I'm doing everything I can legally, but I don't know. So like I'm just scared of shit like that.
Well,
Like
it's called a learning institution. And
Yeah,
the idea
right?
of going back to it just freaks me right out. I'm like, I have been institutionalized.
how long were you in school for?
Oh, like 8 years.
8 years. Good
Because
God.
I did an undergrad and then I had to do some prereqs before I could do my master's. So I
Oh,
just
wow.
kept educating my dumb
Yeah.
ass.
Wow.
Yeah. Failed the GRE twice.
I know what it's like to be overeducated, right, Mikey? Me
Yeah,
and my
absolutely.
long storied career of
Yeah.
education.
Yeah. You figured out education so quick, you quit.
I did.
Really?
I learned. I was like by 3 months into grade 11, I was like, fuck this. A month in grade 11, 3 months.
That's the
I don't know.
smart way to do it. I wish I'd done that because all I did was just keep trying to be like, "What's the meaning of life?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "This is social science."
And the great thing is, we're both here now.
Yeah.
So like, it doesn't matter. We just took different
It's
ways
like
to
when
get
people
here.
like fight, like drive really fast. They cut you off. You get to a red light, and you're like, "We're at the same." Place.
Yeah.
My choices were clearly better.
Yeah, but he spent all morning trying to get the child seat out so he could pick chicks up at the Roxy. So it's like, this guy's in a bad mood.
See, same. So did I. For a different reason. I'm a bad mom.
I just keep the child seat in so that I can park in the special spots at IKEA. They have the kid spots, right? They didn't say you have to have the kid with you.
No, that's true.
They said you just have to be a parent. Well, they don't know. I could be a deadbeat dad.
I like when it says family parking. I'm like, I have a family.
Right?
I came from a family.
Is it like, is it like
Yeah.
family style at a restaurant where it's just one parking spot in the middle and everyone tries to get into it?
I like family style at restaurants, except for my family are very much like, this is my food.
Yeah.
You don't touch my food.
My family's a bit like that
Yeah.
too. It's a little bit Clan of the Cave Bear. It's like shit shows up, and they're English too, so it's always meat. It's always like, here's the meat, and it's like, ah,
I like that you said that in the most like RP, like here's the meat.
here's the meat. Enjoy the meat.
You only get one cube.
Cube of meat.
I don't know how meat works.
Welcome to the future, though. Cube of meat, right?
They have that, don't they?
Cube of meat. Oh, sure, they
Yeah,
have cube
I'm
of
sure
meat.
they have cube
I'm
of
sure
meat.
if you go to the right baseball park in America, you can get cube of meat. You know
So
what I mean?
cube to take a bite out of.
You can get deep fried butter.
you could probably get like foot long cube of meat.
It's a foot long cube, technically a rectangle.
We don't know them fancy shapes.
Just like a brick of ham or something.
It could be a foot long cube because it could be a foot long in either direction. I mean, what's long, right? Like, and then it becomes philosophical, and you've just got rednecks
When
arguing
does
like,
the cube become a cube?
it's like technically, if the universe is infinite, then this cube never stops. Because I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm missing the third inning, but I'll tell you right now.
I like that you think that you assume that they believe in the universe.
Oh, I've been having at it with flat earthers on my TikTok.
Oh, get into it.
So I put a TikTok video up, and it was just basically my flat Earth joke, which is like, any flat earthers? No, they're all home trying to figure out why it's nighttime. Real simple joke,
Yeah.
stupid. And I just put on it flat Earth owned, right, just to
Oh.
see if I. And holy shit, did the flatties come out? Like there's
I love
or
making
flirt.
What did you call them? The flatties?
Flatties or flirters? I can't remember what they're called. Apparently, we're globies. So
Ooh, roundos.
the roundos,
That's why you see it called in elementary school.
globies and roundos.
Globies and
And
round.
the flat is like da 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 da, but one of them falls off the edge. But the flat Earth. Now, I firmly believe that most flat earthers are not actually really people. They're all like some guy named Boris under a picture of Vladimir Putin, just typing
Yeah.
in waiting for a borscht break. I guess that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people that comment, it's like no followers, no subscribers, no videos. It's just all they do is comment and shit. So they're trolls professionally,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
But there are some people who genuinely believe the Earth is flat, and I don't know why. I don't understand why.
I feel like, you know how we just keep sending idiots into space, like William Shatner? I think we just need to hire a billionaire to be like, listen, hire a billionaire. We need to convince a billionaire to like take a bunch
What's your resume?
of flat earthers.
I wrote all this.
Yeah.
I bought Twitter. Oh, okay.
I guess this time it'll pass. If
So-
it was TikTok, maybe.
Maybe.
And then put a bunch of flat earthers in a capsule, shoot them into space, and be like, see, the Earth is round, and also you don't get to come back.
See, I was hoping that's where she was going. I was like, oh, please don't let him come. Like, no, you get to know, and you can update your status,
Yeah.
and then you're fucking gone.
Your punishment for being wrong
I
is you
was
stay
lying.
up there.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Like, I mean, if the Earth was flat, apart from anything else, like the real estate around the outside would all be owned by rich people.
Right. All of the
that where the Illuminati
Chip
is?
Wilson would be like, "This is my waterfront now."
Yeah, I think if you get $1 billion, they give you a real picture of the Earth, and it's just a pizza, and they go, "That's basically it."
Yeah.
Like the dinosaurs are on the bottom.
What started the flat Earth craze? Does anyone know?
The Middle Ages, and people didn't know. No, I think
Gravity, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're like, well, how's the water staying on the Earth then if it's spinning? It's like, how come if I jump, the Earth doesn't move? It's like, oh my
Centrifugal
god.
force.
And it's like guys like, so the gravity's holding the air in? No, that's the atmosphere.
You know when you're driving really fast and your pickup truck is full of hot water because you thought you and Du Bois would go out and shoot some deer and then have a nice hot tub in the forest together?
Yep.
Suspect. And you drive really fast and it doesn't slosh out? That's the same way!
That's a great example.
Well, then explain satellites. That's what the person says. Like, they're like, if there's no satellites, we've never been to space. That whole thing, because there's different degrees of it. I believe some people are just like, it's kind of flat. Maybe
Yeah.
who gives a shit? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm mowing my lawn, but I'm not mowing it like this, so I don't fucking know. And then I think it goes all the way up to we've never been to space. Birds aren't real. Like those sort of people.
They go royal out there, and I'm always just like, I've never seen my abs. I know I have them because I'm standing upright.
Yeah. They gotta exist, right?
They're there.
I'm the same way. I was like, I got a core.
I think abs are myths. I don't think they're real.
No abs.
Oh my
Abs
god,
are
that's
real?
my.
No.
I want to start a conspiracy theory about abs. Be like, they're all just painted on.
Yeah, not real.
They're not real. They're all photoshopped. Show me a real ab.
I feel like jellyfish have had this conversation before. Like, seriously. Like, what's core strength anyway? I'm basically a plastic bag.
I love jellyfish.
I do love jellyfish.
They're so cool.
There's an immortal jellyfish, right? That gets old and then gets young again.
What?
It's I think it's. You look it up. It's the immortal jellyfish.
Absolutely. That's great.
And I believe this is the benefit of having a child is they learn all these things from, and then you're just like, this is not knowledge I need, and now I can go into pub trivia. But yeah, they get old and then they basically get young again. Yeah, they like buy a convertible when they hit 40.
Oh my god, they just got a lot of Botox.
They just act young, right? They take a trip to Brazil for some holiday and they come back with defined jawlines and perky boobs.
Do you think they do what the Kardashians do, where they just like drown, like they just
Oh,
like?
dude, you're not even lying.
No, it's a real thing, right?
I feel like Simon would never
the immortal
make up something
jellyfish.
like that.
I don't lie about jellyfish.
Listen, I don't think Simon lies.
I just didn't believe in immortality.
Scientists have discovered a jellyfish which can live forever. The immortal jellyfish, known scientifically as Turritopsis dohrini. Turritopsis dohrini. I'm here to fix your soul.
You've been alive long enough.
Is
Don't
now
leave you
officially
long.
known as the only immortal creature.
Let's eat it.
There can only be one.
The only immortal creature, the immortal jellyfish.
Have you eaten jellyfish? I've eaten it.
I've eaten jellyfish.
Is
Yeah,
that why we're gonna live forever?
yeah I think so. Yeah, I've eaten jellyfish. Right?
Where do you eat jellyfish?
Restaurant.
You just find
Serving
it's just the
jellyfish.
beach. Just get in there.
And that's why I'm not allowed back at the aquarium.
There you go. Hey, don't take your pet jellyfish to the pool, all right, kids? I'll tell you that right now. It's not gonna make it.
Oh, skinny.
No, I had it at I think it was a Chinese barbecue I went to once.
I had it at dim sum
A friend of mine was Chinese. Friends like,
Oh, good.
yeah, they had like a bunch of different. I think they were trying to see if they could fuck me over because I was literally the only white man there. Because my girlfriend at the time was Japanese and her stepmom was Chinese, and then so half the family was Chinese and half the family was Japanese. I was literally the only white guy, and they thought it would be, I think, really funny to see if they could make me either throw up or leave. And I was like, oh, you have no idea what you're dealing with. I'm mostly drunk. I will eat anything. All right.
My family does that with emotional torment to my partners.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Emotional jellyfish.
The emotional jellyfish and the immortal jellyfish, and you just find out you're not immortal, and then you get sad.
My dad used to call all of my boyfriends I'd bring home Steve. Didn't matter. That was
Wow.
never,
That's a good tactic.
That's a
though.
good
Yeah,
move.
he was like, Steve. And I was like, Dad, his name is Matt.
And then he starts questioning himself. Am I Steve?
Yeah. My dad just gaslit boy I ever loved.
He's just like, I've found myself. I'm Steve. I'm leaving you. He's like, what?
Steve, Matt, who am I? Not my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's so. We were talking about school, and we were talking about comedy in school, because this is vaguely. It's not really a comedy podcast. It's funny, I think, sometimes, most of the time, hopefully. But the idea was that it's not necessarily all about comedy. It's just that the only people I know who will put up with me are comedians. Like, we have not had a normal person on the podcast. I've tried. Mike said to me when we were booking guests, he's like, "What about a normal person?" I was like, "I don't fucking know any."
What would they talk about? They'd have no hot takes on jellyfish.
Like, I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Moving boxes, the color beige. I don't know what people do. Like, why? It's wine o'clock.
I don't like the self-checkouts at Home Depot. They keep all their candy in weird boxes.
You do good voices too. That's a good one.
That's great.
You got NPR and
That's my aunt. My aunt.
That's your aunt?
And I know I'm going to sound like her because I'm slowly getting more and more nasal, which I don't care about. But I know other people are going to be like, oh, but she sounds like this. Ron. And her husband's
great.
Ron, do you know where I put my medicine?
Of course, it's Ron. That's the best name.
That's her husband's name and my dad's name. You never hear a Ron anymore.
You don't hear a lot of Rons.
No, you don't hear any Rons.
I know a Ronald. One Ronald.
Captain Ron the movie. That's like
Captain
30
Ron.
years
Yes,
ago.
that's the Ron. That's the only Ron
most
that's left.
relevant Ron I know. Yeah.
Captain Ron the movie.
I want to Ron. That's a good solid like
Ron.
Raymond.
It does sound like a devil name. I am Ron.
But with two
what?
A's.
Ron. There's a silent H. And Ron.
It's Anne
Called
Ron.
back Anne Ron. That was the company that went bankrupt. I can do an impression of my aunt, and then years ago, my aunt was living in England, and my grandma was still alive at the time. And so I called her as my aunt, and it really upset her when she found out that it wasn't actually like, hi. And she just nods. I'm coming around now. And it's like, she was not happy. She was like, I think I almost killed her. She was like, what the fuck? I was like, sorry, dude.
God.
Yeah.
That's a cool talent
Yeah,
to
it's
impersonate your dead relative.
To mock people,
was
right?
dead.
Why not? Like, you just impersonate. Well, I want to get to the point where I can do identity theft with just people's voices. That's all I want to do. I just want to steal people's
I feel
voices.
like you could. Arnold Schwarzenegger, you could do him.
Getting there. I'm getting there. Although that podcast is, I just looked at that Pumpin' It podcast. It's having three reviews on it.
I'll review it.
And everyone's like, I don't think it's Arnold. The amount of people that call
All
up.
just him.
You mean you think it's all Arnold? This isn't me. It's just getting more and more upset.
Why is no one listening? For real.
He thinks he's sending an email to the podcast.
Please take the podcast down. It's not me. It's
Emailing himself over and over again.
Just keeps getting it.
They've got my email.
They're impersonating me.
I like the idea that Arnold Schwarzenegger signed up for email and he has to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger 13 or something because they're all taken.
How many are there? It's crazy. 15 of them.
I just got AllannahComedy@gmail.com and I was like, am I the first?
Alannah Comedy. Oh, that's good though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good because my other email was my real name, not my stage name, and somebody was able to find me.
Oh shit.
And I don't know if I told you. I don't know if I told you about this.
No.
An audience member at one of the local shows at Jokes Please did not like my abortion joke. To the point where later on in my set, unrelated to abortion, I talk about how I work in healthcare.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, we're so offended by this joke about abortion that we're going to find her job. We're going to find where she works in healthcare. And they emailed my real healthcare employer
Wow.
being like,
Holy
she wanted
shit.
to murder babies and harm pregnant ladies and dismember dead bodies. And I was like, I didn't say any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it.
But now I will. Now
She's
I
just
will.
giving you tags.
Yeah, thanks.
She's punching up your joke for you.
Cool.
You're like, thanks, crazy pro-lifer.
Yeah, but so I was like, oh fuck, I went on this like whirlwind of like, okay, I need to change.
What did your employer do? Did they not care?
They were like, so we need to have a meeting. So me and HR and my boss was like, this is stupid. And then my union rep was like, I love comedy. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then the HR rep was like super pregnant. She was like, what, don't you like babies? And I was like,
Your baby's fine. Yeah,
love
sure,
your
your
baby.
baby's going to be
I
super
bet
special.
Your baby shower was super fun and everybody loved it, including all your friends.
But that's weird. Like the fact that someone could. So what bothers me about that is the level of entitlement people have to think that they don't like a joke, so they're going to try and fuck your life.
Yeah,
it's like you didn't do anything to them. You didn't come to. If you went to their work and didn't like if you showed up and like inundated them with that shit. Okay, fair enough. You fight back, but. If it's just a matter of just like I don't like your joke, where the fuck do you get off?
Why do you go to comedy?
Yeah.
You're like-
Exactly. Like, what are you gonna do? And that always wondered because I use my real name.
Yeah.
Because Aloysius Smith-Wacius was taken. So Aloysius Smith-Wacius was a great name for when I would start, but it's often difficult. If you get one MC with a lisp, you're fucking done.
That's true.
Should
be a prerequisite.
Cantor with Alex McKenzie.
Aloysius Smith-Wacius sounds
Sorry,
like a
Alex.
character from like British literature, but he only shows up in like one page because we're like, I can't fucking write this anymore because we're doing this by hand. Aloysius Smith-Wacius.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have my real name because I just the way I work, and it's like to me, it's like I say a lot of crazy shit, and obviously, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who don't necessarily agree. I mean, they're fucking stupid, but they don't agree. My real name is Mike Greenwood, and you can send. I like the way he waved off camera.
Off camera.
I love it. Trying to give Stevie Wonder a high five.
Stevie up top.
And so it's like I do sometimes think about that and I go, well, because I'm not worried about this cancel bullshit. That's not a thing. It's not a real thing.
I mean, I'm due for a counseling, to be honest. Like, it's coming.
It's not a thing though. It's
No,
like
I'm
it's like
union. It's not gonna,
oh yeah. Well, that's the thing is like if you have so for me, I'm relatively cancelable because I don't have a job. I only do this, and so it's like basically I'm doing my job. Like if you were annoyed, I'm doing my job.
Yeah, it's like
right?
you're like nobody likes the garbage man who wakes you up at 6 a.m, but you were also not allowed to get him fired. That's
Yeah,
just like
it's like that's the kind of thing,
that's
right?
really
I am a
You're the
garbage man.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's that idea that someone could follow. I mean, I would feel personally really fucking angry about that.
I was really angry. I was mostly just like, I don't want to have this awkward ass meeting.
Yeah.
And then I also was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about working in healthcare. Clearly, I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
But it really threw me for a couple weeks. I was like, I can't tell the same jokes. Like I can't talk about it.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's scary.
I changed it because I was like, well, like I'm so like I never talk about where I work because I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Like I use a stage name again because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna toe this line, I need to be careful. Oh, sorry, that came real.
Oh, that's cool.
That was cool.
You listen to COVID
I can
cast.
I don't have COVID. I have really
She's
bad
doing
allergy.
tons of cocaine. She was just doing rails of cocaine.
allergies.
Oh my god,
Allergies.
I know I give off coke addict vibes, but I
Don't really.
Thank
I mean,
you.
then again, I don't know any coke. I don't know any cokeheads. I've never done it myself.
I've never even been invited.
I think I've never tried cocaine. I think if anyone ever gave me cocaine, I think they think I just burst into flames.
But I think that they don't give it
Yeah.
to me. I think they're like,
Yeah.
she doesn't need
Need
it,
it,
and
yeah.
we don't need that.
Yeah.
In the world.
I've had a lot of people try to give me Quaaludes.
Yeah. They're like, we're gonna go do some key bumps. You just have a little now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's
That's what
great?
you need.
Sleepy time tea. Sleepy time tea is good for your party.
Have you heard of chamomile?
That's how hard you fucking
hottest
party
drug.
is you just snort sleepy time tea.
Oh,
What the
I
fuck are you
would.
doing, man? Just take the
How did they find you even with the fake name?
I don't know. My assumption is that they just sent out an email to every single like health employer
Wow.
in the Lower Mainland because they didn't know what my job title was.
They had to work for it.
So they also just didn't do good research.
Was it a ticketed event?
Yeah, it was jokes.
It was a ticketed event, so there's an Eventbrite, so their name's available. So if you'd like to get it,
I could.
Oh,
I
wow,
could.
good
I'm
thinking.
just telling you, it's not
Yeah.
impossible. Like, you can go
Yeah.
both ways, right?
I also just know from like talking to lawyers. That's right. If you're watching this, I already have legal representation
yeah.
because I'm in a union.
Yeah.
And I don't, but I got a can opener and I can
Yeah.
fuck you up.
I have a dad named Ron, and I know some jellyfish.
Yeah, Steve's right.
Yeah, nothing happened. It was
That was
all
like
good.
3 callbacks in a row. You did Ronnie Jellyfish, I did Steve. That was great.
That was the most callbacks in
That was
3
real
seconds.
Abbott Costello. We
Let's
fucking
go for 4.
Oh god, that's great.
This is a callback podcast.
So what were you saying? Yeah, it is a kind of a callback podcast.
Yeah. Nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. And I took out the healthcare joke because it was a bit like,
Yeah.
Can you tell us the joke?
yeah, I can tell you because I have to retire it now because
Yeah,
I can't do it in the
you gotta
same
retire,
set.
yeah.
Final
Okay, so I
time.
work in healthcare. It's been very stressful, obvious reasons, the last couple of years. I think we can all know
Cocaine.
why. Yeah, all the coke. Actually, that is a real problem, I guess, for people. No, so I didn't know how stressed I was getting and how just broken I was as a healthcare worker until I went in to go see a patient to go do an assessment and they were dead.
Oh no.
Right, whatever, it happens. It's a hospital. They die all the time. And then I was like, okay. And then the nurse came in and was like, oh yeah, we don't actually need you because like they're dead. We're just waiting for their family. And I was like,
The idea of the nurse talking like that.
Like, he's like, I better let her know.
yeah.
You're not needed.
I was just hovering over a dead body.
I was
We
like,
got this.
why are we whispering? Are they not dead? Do they not know them?
It's good that she thought you were just going to be like, why are these test results all negative all the time? You're getting nothing back. I don't
Your
understand.
EKG is 0. I don't think that's right. My first date.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, all right, you don't need me. I guess what you're saying is I get a 10-minute break. Oh my God. I'm so happy. It was like the greatest. I was like, this is the greatest gift I ever could have gotten from a nurse. I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah.
And I did. I took a 10-minute nap, and it was the best sleep I've
Possible?
had in months. Wow. Yeah, because they were so warm. So I just,
Oh, that's nice.
just cuddled right in there.
That's a good joke.
That was great.
That's a really good joke.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't.
nice.
I didn't cuddle with a dead body. I did eat their Jello.
There
But,
you go. Why not? It's there. What are they going to do?
Yeah, so this person was like, she defiled a dead body. This is how I assumed
Filed
they
a
sound.
dead body.
And then
Jesus
stole
Christ.
from them. I was like, I said I ate their Jello. Is that what you mean by
Defiled.
hospital Jello?
Like
Nobody
the
wanted it.
dead person gets to St. Peter and he's like, well, you can come in if you got your, oh, fuck, you don't have it? Oh, Jesus. Well, this is
Like
awkward.
that
Anyway.
lady stole your Jello. To hell with you.
It's a big trapdoor. I think that's fucking deplorable that someone would,
Yeah.
would, because the thing is like, it's like what you do, like that's your own time.
Also,
That's your
yeah.
thing. And you're
Exactly.
doing everything you can to avoid
Yeah.
being, obviously if you get super famous, there's nothing you can do about that, but that's a different world at that point, right? You have a different thing. You probably don't need to worry about dead people at that point.
Yeah.
You're like, I got a yacht.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Come back for me?
I don't think, hopefully not. That would be great though. Comedy
be
for
really
zombies.
cool, yeah.
Anybody like brains? You, sir? Did you just give me a time?
No, I'm just checking up on
Oh.
things. We're about 26 minutes in. How do
okay.
you come up with a fake name?
How do I come?
How do you come up with? Is
with a
Alannah
fake
Brittany an
name?
homage to a comedian
just
you like
Boggle?
or something? Like,
Yeah, no, my real name is Dingleberry. Last
Dingleberry.
name, and I was like, that's bad. No, it's not Dingleberry.
Aloysius Smithwacius? Because I got
Yeah.
a problem for you.
That's my cousin. No, how did I come up with a fake name? I just was like, this is stupid. Also, I feel like Alannah is already kind of like a. Like the name doesn't really suit me.
So you're not Alannah. The first name's fake too.
Oh no, my first name is Alannah.
Oh.
Yeah, Brittany's obviously not a last name that people have.
You tricked me. I had no
Because that would
idea.
mean immediately, it's Brittany Alannah.
It is.
That's her real name.
Yeah. So many people.
Because that's how my brain works.
Well, you know how there's.
It would have been like, no one will guess.
You know how there's all those like dipshit dudes. I had to like really quickly do my math in my head to make sure neither of you were these dipshit dudes. I have the same like first name, last name, but they're both first names.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always think it's like two first names is such a funny.
Yeah.
And it's always men. It's always like Mark Ryan.
Well, it's because a lot of men's last
Right?
names
Yeah.
are like, and then what's happened now is now,
Taylor
because I have a
Todd.
5-year-old, and so I'm around all the other parents with their kids,
yeah.
and there's so many Tanners. They're all just jobs.
Tanners.
They're just jobs. Like, hey, that's my son Welder. Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
Smith car dealership. Yeah.
Look, IT executive, come in. It's dinner. He just doesn't listen anymore. His brother ad sales is way
Yeah.
better.
Oh shit.
But it's like, so it's like you do. And the thing is it's difficult because my name, Simon King, is a difficult name because I can't really, it's a great name for show business.
Great name.
It's a really good name for show business. But I can't flip it around because King Simon is just fucking weird. I sound like I'm selling linoleum
King
floors.
Yeah, that's what you make call you though. Right?
It's an linoleum floor. But yeah, so it's like I always thought like if I had a fake name, what would my fake name be? Because it's like would you want to go like say you're checking into a hotel, say you're famous, you don't want anyone to know who you are, checking into a hotel. Kevin Fox, very funny comedian. I started out with, or was going when I started, and still around, actually, still doing comedy. Very funny guy. He told me that he used to check in under the name Corey Hart because he would say, "Why would anyone lie that their name is Corey Hart?" And I was like, "That makes sense, right?"
That's very funny.
As opposed to like lying, calling yourself like Velma or something like that. Like so,
That's what you should go with.
Velma,
Simon Velma.
Simon Velma,
Velma, that is nice.
Velma King,
I love a good lady's name as a last name. You don't hear it anymore.
Lindsay. That's a
Yeah.
last name.
That's a first name.
That's a last name as well.
Is it?
Yeah, John Lindsay. There's actually a lot of first names and last names because humans aren't very imaginative.
That's true.
Right. Jonathan Taylor Thomas had 3 first names.
Yeah, fuck him though, right? You say that too many times, the furniture floats.
Thomas.
Taylor, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I did it real slow.
See,
What? I thought you were your pathology test or something.
Diamondolus.
I thought Taylor's a last name, and now it's a first name, right?
Yeah.
But it used to be. Now it's a woman's name, right?
Yeah.
Taylor's a female name, right? Isn't it?
Oh my God, it is. And I actually went to school with a girl named Taylor, and we were good friends, and she was so stupid, bless her. She was so dumb. One day she was writing her name down, and she goes, and I was like, what? She's like, is my name O-R or E-R? And I was like, oh, honey.
Oh, wow.
You don't know.
Oh, wow.
It's E-R. Do it.
Just convince her it's spelled T-A-I-L-E-R. Taylor.
It's actually, the R is silent.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, so I don't know. Like, I mean, last names are an interesting thing because I guess they used to be jobs, right? But then none of the cool jobs became last names. Like, I've never met a Bob Ninja.
Right. Also, there's a lady, and she works in Vancouver. She's a radio. I don't know if she's like what I can't remember if she's like business on like News 1130. Her name is Lindsay Horstein, which makes you wonder if last names
That's a rough one.
are based on jobs.
Horstein.
Horstein.
I mean, that
What
could
does
be
a Horstein
German,
look like?
right? Horstein.
yeah, but that's not how they say it. They really hit the stain.
Horstein?
Horstein. I mean, what was her family's occupation?
That's a rough one. I know a couple of
Horstein.
people last name Dick, but that's a relatively common Jewish name, right?
Yeah,
Dick
yeah,
is a
yeah.
common Jewish
With a
name.
Y?
Dick, yeah, Dick, or an I too.
Oh.
And then I knew a couple of Dicks, and
I do too.
Yeah.
hey, and what? There's the strangest name. I knew a Drinkwater once. Last name was Drinkwater. That's a
that's
cool name.
cool.
That's
right?
very cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat name.
I'm trying to think of like I went to high school with some people with the coolest fucking names.
Yeah.
I went to school with Faye Joyous.
Oh, I like
Ooh,
that.
that's a cool name.
I know.
That sounds like a composer or something.
Yeah.
Faye Joyous.
She's so cool. And then Nishka Hotzfelder.
Oh shit!
I know,
Anishka.
these were my pals.
Anishka's a great name.
You're proud of two of their names.
I'm really proud of
Anishka
them.
sounds like
Yeah.
something you get at a Russian wedding. Anishka?
Anishka.
I'll be Vic.
Yeah, and then Brittany, not Brittany.
Oh, Brittany. Oh.
Yeah, great name. And then
Yeah.
Cinziana Gutu.
Cinziana. Wow, that's where you get cinnamon buns at the mall.
I think great names. And then I was
Cinziana.
Elena. And I
That's
was like,
fucking
my name
crazy.
sucks. Yeah.
But then the other thing is people name their kids such crazy things like Elon Musk named one of his kids Elon Jr. It's fucking nuts. And I was just, but didn't they name their kid like a series, like just someone hammered a keyboard
Yeah.
with their hand and was
Yeah.
just like, that seems to me to be sort
Child
of very
abuse?
self-centered. Yeah, it's very self-centered on the behalf of the rich person because they're thinking,
Yeah.
oh, the famous, the person who's the parent, because they're saying like, I want you to see how cool I am by naming my kids something they'll have to carry around their neck for the rest of their fucking life.
Yeah. Nobody will ever have this name ever again. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like you
dumb.
can't. I mean, you want your kid to have an. And the weird thing is like if you ever think about that, you look at yourself and go, like I look at myself and go, am I actually a Simon? Like, what other name would suit me? Because I was almost Percival. I was very nearly Percival.
Oh fuck.
Because that was my granddad's name
That's a
on my
great
father's side,
name.
Percival, right?
Percival King.
Percival
oh no,
King,
I wouldn't
yeah.
believe you. I wouldn't believe a single word that came
Percival
out of your
Jeffrey
mouth.
King.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay.
Percival Jeffrey King.
I got Elon's kids' names here, but I don't even.
What is it?
It's like Ash.
It's like Musk, Exa, and Dark are easy pronunciations, but
Musk,
mother of
Exa.
newborn Exa Dark Sidera Musk shared that the correct phonetic pronunciation of the daughter's name is Sidir El. Actually, you could do that better.
Sidereal.
Why?
I don't even.
Oh,
Sidereal.
Sidereal eel.
There we go.
Sidereal.
You could do that better than me.
Sidereal.
Sounds like something at the bottom of the ocean. It's the side aerial.
It's the side of the aerial when she's swimming. You got the front of aerial.
This is my son gonna kill me when he's 30. And this is my daughter on the streets. And it's like there's a great comedian named Brad Muse used to have a joke about naming the tradition indigenous people have about naming the child the first thing they saw. He's like, that's amazing, but he's like, I can't do that because I live in a city. He's like, this is my son, fuck you. That's my son Skytrain. Like you can't do that.
That's a killer name.
I think
Skytrain.
I think like indigenous names are the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
coolest names because like they have like they're like story names. Like there's not a lot of story names, you know what I mean? Like it's like my name is just like maybe it was a king, probably not just someone who people didn't like and were like, this guy's a fucking king. Like he was all this like, check out this prince, and they just grew up. And then but I think that with North American and Western European names, it just becomes so like because they're just boring. They're like this is what you did. Your name is Cooper because you kept chicken in a cage. No, just kidding. Sparrows. I know.
Jackson. Your last name is
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
That one always
It's like,
throws
what
me.
the fuck is that?
Hey, what was his name?
Daughter. Well, that's the thing is like in like I guess Scandinavian countries is like you could have like Ivan's daughter and like things like that. But then if it's Ivan's daughter is your last name, then what happens if your last name changes? Like then you have a kid. Is it Ivan's daughter's son?
Ooh.
Then it just keep going like one of those nesting dolls.
I would hope so, because that would be way more fun for all of us.
My family is 2,000 years old. This is going to take a while.
My family is Slovak, and you have to add. So if you're a male in our family, you just have your last name. And
Yeah.
this isn't my direct last name, so I can say it, Rebar.
Okay.
But if you're a lady or a female, if you have ovaries, I should say,
Yeah.
you have to add ova at the end. So
What?
Rebarova.
That you
Yeah.
gotta do that?
So
Yeah, it's sexist as shit in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, they don't really seem to care too much in Eastern Europe. I gotta say, they don't seem to give a fuck about that
All
too
these
much.
people are like, communism's not so bad. I'm like, I just don't want the extra letters
Yeah.
on the end of my name.
That is a fucking like. So yeah, you got to spend more in printing.
yeah.
Just
As I always
sticking
say,
it to women.
we're gonna pay you less, but
you
you're
got
gonna
more
pay
names.
more.
You get deducted for
Forever.
extra letters. It's
Pink
fucking
tax.
bullshit. Well, we're at that point now where I think people listening at home know. I think Mikey. I think it's time for
Let's get random.
random. You may not know. If you don't know what random is, I love this. I keep
Does
forgetting
his
to tell
face
people.
tell
Yeah.
you that I know what
So
that
what
is?
random is? What Let's Get Random is I was kicking around on the internet one day. I looked at everything. I'd seen everything. The internet was broken. I was done. I hit a brick wall. There was one thing left, and it was a random conversation generator for people who have social interaction
I
difficulties.
use those at work.
Right? And so this thing is fucking great because we just set it to the most random thing ever. We have no idea what it's going to do, and then we randomly ask questions, and then we fucking answer them, and it's fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
That is fun.
let's do it, Mikey Greenwood.
Would you rather be rich and never find true love, or be poor and find true love?
Rich.
Yeah, you can buy true
You
love.
can buy, you can get people to pretend to love you.
I just told you, I've seen everything on the internet. You can buy true love.
Rule 34.
I saw it was supposed to be deep.
That question is like the easiest. That's like, would anyone be like, love? You're like, yeah, if the love is rich, sure. Yeah, how about I'm poor and then she's rich and then yeah, that's fine. Okay, if she said yes to the first question that she'd like the money, and I say, well, the true love, and I find her, she doesn't love me that much, but she takes care of me.
Got
You know
the
what I mean?
money. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
All right, that was a quick
How are you
one.
doing for
That
drinks?
was-
You need more drinks?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mikey, you want to go get
Yeah,
some
I'll do a
more
quick
booze?
one. We'll do a quick one.
Do
random.
you put us up and then
What is something popular now that annoys you?
everything?
Yeah, I was going to say, try to.
People.
Podcasting.
Or should we say what's something you?
Being alive.
Podcasting, that drives me crazy. Actually, it kind of does though.
Podcasting?
It kind of does because like it's
Yeah.
like there's so much like I didn't realize so many people were so singular about certain things.
That's
you know what
so
I mean?
true. I listened to a podcast today begrudgingly because it wasn't yours.
I was gonna say because you were coming on, so you thought I'd better find out
I
what the fuck
better
I'm doing.
prepare.
Make sure there's no questions.
Yeah, no. I was listening to a podcast.
Cheers, a little bit. Thank you.
From, do you know the that really shitty paper? Thank you.
the Quillette.
Quillette, is that what they're called?
I don't know what they are.
But they're like, we don't believe that CBC has anything but terrorism. Like,
Anything but terrorism? Isn't
Yeah.
that their new show?
oh my god, I would listen to that CBC show for sure.
They don't believe it has anything but no.
That may be I may
Okay.
be paraphrasing, but their podcast was so just like so self-serving, and that's the thing is like a podcast can give a voice to just about fucking any idiot.
it can.
And they can be like, yeah, and you can talk as you can talk like you have
Mikey and I have 2 listeners, and they're dedicated.
yeah. Thank you for also being a fellow idiot.
And also, by the same token, give up the good payphone. The other inmates are going to get angry. I don't know what they're doing.
I just fucking I can't stand like all of the like when people on podcasts will talk about things as if they actually know them.
Yeah.
Or they'll use the we. Well, we always do. I'm like, who's this fucking lady that you're goddamn talking about? Is you? I'm going into my aunt voice. Ron,
Get in here, Ron. You're talking about we again.
The Nintendo. Let's talk about the Nintendo.
Oh my god, poor Ron.
Poor old Ron. Yeah, but you're right. I think it's like this weird thing of like this idea that like everything needs to be. That's one of the things that drives me crazy. Something happens on the internet now. There's instantly think pieces about it, and what bothers me about the think pieces is 99.9% of the time it's like me thing,
Well, my
and it's
favorite experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so like this weird hijacking and it's like it happens with tragedies, it happens with good things, it happens with everything. And so the problem is if you ever feel like something does relate to you, or you want to talk about it, or you want to bring it up, or something like that, like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is happening, and I know I have a few male friends who've been through something similar, and none of them have talked about it because it is stigmatized. I'm not saying it's not the other way around. Obviously, it is, but I think it happens a lot more than people know.
Oh,
and,
for sure must.
Because I think human relationships can be very violent sometimes,
yeah.
and the violence is different types. And so you post something and you go, this is something that happened, and then you just get jumped on. It's like, oh, you're trying to fucking promote. I was like, I didn't link a video to this dipshit. I said that this is something. I'm glad that this conversation, it's stupid that we have to be at the point where we can't just have conversations, but everything has to be like, you have to defend yourself so much before you do anything. And one of the problems is every time something happens, someone comes out and goes, this is fine. And podcasts are like that too. And it's like,
okay, Joe Rogan, we appreciate your commentary. We don't.
Yeah.
We appreciate your commentary, but your
I will still do the podcast, by the way, if you want. Just kidding.
only if you give me a lifetime supply of ivermectin.
Yeah.
People have called me horse teeth, and I think it would go well with me. But I don't
It's
know.
better than horse stand.
Horse teeth.
Not good, but I'm
Poor
fast.
Lindsay Horsted.
Poor old Lindsay
We have
Horsted.
questions about the etymology of
We
your
might need a
family.
callback counter in the bottom right
We
screen
really
of
do.
this
I
thing.
should just start putting a ding thing.
Yeah,
So that's
this is
basically
awesome.
all my podcast has become now. Or our podcast has become just me just calling back to things. And we're like, does he have jokes? No, I don't at all.
What is joke?
Yeah, it's like sorry, you were saying about that. Like it's just become like Joe Rogan and people like that. It's just a
like
constant.
Why stay in your lane?
Yeah.
like you're. I mean, I don't have opinions on like some of the things that I shouldn't have opinion. I mean, I have opinions on them, but I'm not like, you know what I should do?
Yeah.
I should go on a podcast and I should talk about Ethiopia. Because like, well, I'm sorry, who the fuck am I? I mean, if you have an opinion about it, sure,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. Some of the podcasts I'm just like. Or even like posts on social media, like
That stuff gets because that's even less. There's even less work required there. You don't even have to go to microphone.
Yeah.
You can just fucking post on Facebook. I think I think people have lost the ability to figure out what they know and what they think they know. And Dunning-Kruger has never had a better time because it's just this madness of like. I mean, I remember when the pandemic first started, there was a lot of like. I was just like, nobody knows, so let's listen to doctors because they have a better idea. But even they don't fucking know most of the time. So why don't we just do what they say?
Yeah.
And then it was just like both sides, and it never stops,
Oh,
and
no.
it's about everything, and it's just like you can't be pragmatic in this world.
But if you
on the
put
internet.
yourself, but when you listen to podcasts, you're just assuming that person actually knows what the fuck they're talking about because they're on a
Right.
podcast.
Yeah, because
Like
they got
our
a
guest
master's
today-
degree and they fucking come on my podcast and they know what they're talking about. Just a medical professional.
I got opinions. Some of them are educated.
But that's the thing.
Most
It's
of
like
them are not.
if we were to have a conversation about your field that you're trained in,
Yeah.
that's a totally different issue because
Totally.
then you're coming
Yeah.
in as someone,
Yeah.
whether expert or not, you definitely have experience. It's like I have experience. I'm not an expert at comedy, but that's what
Yeah,
I've done
you
for
are.
22 years.
You are.
And that's
You
what I
can
know.
say it. It's
And
cool.
so if someone asks me, I can just speak from experience.
Yeah.
And then the problem is you end up with these people who like act like they know what they're talking about, and so they con you, they trick you because you're like, oh, this guy really fucking knows, or she's fucking she gets it, and then you look it up and you go, you just read 4 headlines.
Yeah. That's like, have you not? To, I don't know if I'm allowed to like talk about another podcast on your podcast, but science,
Shut it down.
We have laws. Get the hook, Mikey.
I'm gonna get shot
Just
later.
goes black.
Alannah wasn't able to complete the podcast due to financial reasons.
We apologize for the service interruption. Yeah, you can talk about that on the podcast.
Science Telephone. Have you ever seen that or heard
No.
that? It's super fun. It's like 2 improvisers in Vancouver who they'll bring on like a real science person. That's their official title. Like doing it like a PhD. Someone's doing their PhD or like a researcher, and they'll be like, describe your research, and they'll describe it to one comic.
Okay.
And then that comic will have to pretend to be a professional
That's
and
fucking
tell
great.
it to another
That's
comic.
fucking great.
And like, but it's like they get the entire dissertation in like a minute, and then they have like 2 minutes to explain it to the next
That's
person,
great.
and then they have to explain it. And it's just
a great idea.
so great. It's so great. But why I like it is because it's like, I think it's such a funny concept of the fact that we're like, yeah, I know about this
Yeah.
research. I heard about this directly from the researcher.
But the amount of
The
ability to
fish were
bullshit.
screaming? Yeah.
I haven't actually, I'm going to do it, but I did a tester episode of what the fuck was going to be called? This is not my podcast. And the idea was that I was the guest on my own podcast every week, and I had different people who knew what they were talking about make the podcast about what they wanted it to be about without telling me. Yeah. And then I had to kind of try and keep up, and they didn't know whether I actually knew or not. So the first one had Kevy and Chris Griffin, hilarious comedian. They came on, and I don't know anything about sports. I know nothing about sports, and they made it specifically about late 90s NBA basketball.
Oh, shit. Wow. Nice.
And I don't think knew whether I knew what I was talking about. Like, there was a lot of, they were like, actually, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, yeah, because you just pick up shit. You don't know what it's saying, I'm just saying it. And I'm like, I know they didn't think I knew, like, I was an expert, but I think they thought I might have seen a game. Right. Which I one time I saw a game, and I was the whole time I was like, this popcorn's no good.
Was it Space Jam, Simon?
Yeah, Space Jam. Same. The Space Jam Mountain, which is totally different. Do you got another random for us, Mikey?
Yeah, what do you think of Ethiopia? That was a callback. There we go. All right, there we go. We're having a fun time. What's your favorite way to waste time?
I thought you were going to say, what's your favorite way to die?
That's a good one.
That would be how. Do that.
If you had to pick a way to go out, though.
Oh, fuck. I know exactly how
you want to go out.
I always, okay, so this is into my psyche, because this is therapy, right?
Yeah, that's what this is.
It's nice dulcet green.
These aren't on.
Yeah.
This is, Mikey's actually a registered therapist.
Yes,
in Mexico.
Look into the light. We're doing that RDM, is that what it's called? Just shake the light in your face. I clearly not done enough therapy. So my whole childhood, I always said I was going to be murdered, like to the point where my parents would be like, oh, should we be worried? Like, should we take her? You should have taken me to a child psychologist for sure, but you didn't. Because they didn't have the benefits or whatever. So so I was always like, I'm going to be murdered. Yes. Imagine if your kid was like, I think one day I'll be murdered. Fast forward to I'm 12 years old. I go to the PNE. I go to a palm reader. She goes, oh, you have a freckle on your palm, which means you're going to die young. And I was like, I already knew that.
Oh, yeah, totally got you.
Yeah.
Tell me something I don't know, lady.
Look, I still have one there and I have one there, which means I'm going to die extra young. But I'm also kind of 36 right now. So I feel like
That's pretty young, though. I mean, I think if you die before, even this day and age, if you die before 60, people like that's pretty young.
I could go out murdered, for sure.
You could, if you went out murdered, like that'd be, what a way to end it. What if like someone just like, I saw her joke and I didn't like it and I found where she worked.
Don't do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like, I think that I wonder like the odds of getting murdered have got to be pretty low. Though.
I don't want to get murdered.
No, I don't think you do.
Do you have a way you want to get murdered?
Yeah, easy, like in my sleep.
Okay.
But I always said that I was like, because my whole life I was like, I'm going to be murdered. I always was like, I will have a backup plan. So I was like, you know what? When I get old enough to buy heroin.
Yeah, because there's an age limit on that. They don't just give it to anybody.
Right? Yeah.
Hey, where's your ID?
You're not old enough for clear liquid. No heroin for you. I don't know if heroin's.
Hey, Scabby Larry, don't give him anything.
But I was like, I'll have it locked and loaded, and then if someone's coming to murder me, I'll just. I don't know where it goes in.
It's like an EpiPen for heroin.
Is that how you think heroin's done?
I feel like if you inject it, it's gonna work.
Like it's a Warner Brothers cartoon and a tranquilizer. If you inject it, it's gonna work. I mean, I guess.
So like a shot. I feel like it would have an effect.
Generally, you need to find the vein.
I think if you drank heroin, you would get something out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to get in the bloodstream, right?
That's
the way
in the comments.
How would you take heroin? And none of the normal ways. None of the needle under the cock bullshit. Like I want to hear.
I work at a rehab. I could ask them.
You could ask them.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of stories.
Little eye drop heroin.
You could totally. You could smoke heroin.
Yeah, opium or whatever.
Smokium.
This whole dens for it. I've heard.
Yeah, the whole dens.
Yeah,
that was a big thing.
How would you want to go?
I think if I was going to go, I think I'd want to be.
You are going to go. We're all going to go.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean,
we found an immortal jellyfish.
I'm half jellyfish, and there you go.
Name's Steve.
Steve the immortal jellyfish. I think if I was to get taken out, I think one of two ways. I'd either like it to be like sniper rifle at a distance, by accident, like the guy picks the wrong guy, and then he just feels bad about it for a long time. He's like, I thought I was taking out Carl Urban, but from a distance, it kind of. And, oh shit! Now I feel bad. This guy just does not like the boys.
It's cool. It didn't look like he had much going on.
Yeah, he wasn't busy. And then, or it's like one of those things where I think if I like I like win the lottery or something amazing happens, like my career, something huge happens. It's like, oh, we're gonna sign 3 HBO specials, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Just then, I don't know how I die then, but it's gonna be something cool,
at the
like
top.
Yeah,
the
just
roller
like
coaster.
something comes on. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna buy myself cotton candy, and I just
Simon, I promise you, if you get 3 HBO specials, I will kill you.
thank you. That's all I want.
Yeah.
What if
I
it
would
was
do
just like before you finish the third one? It's like 1001 Arabian Nights. You know those fairy tales.
Right.
It was like one of those ones where just before the third one comes true, that they come to strangle you, and you're saying like, HBO. What did you think you would get it for free? Just kill you.
Oh man.
Oh shit! Death on stage would be good though. Everyone dying on stage. That'd be a good way to go.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
right in the middle of a bit and no one knows a bit about death. That happened to an actor, didn't it? They were doing a play where they were supposed to act like I had a heart attack, and they actually had a fucking heart attack,
Also,
and
someone
nobody
got
knew.
stabbed in a Romeo
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Juliet scene, like
Yeah.
for real.
What?
They
Yeah,
died.
yeah.
I can't remember if that's true or if I'm making that up.
Tommy Cooper died on stage. He was a
Yeah.
magician, and he was a funny magician, and people didn't know. They thought it was on TV.
Mm-hmm.
He died on fucking TV, and they didn't know. They were like, "Hey, look at this guy! He's fucking committed to the bit."
Shit.
Just lying
See,
there.
we're still talking about it. I don't know who he is.
It's good PR, right?
Yeah. It's
great,
I know that his last name is he made barrels.
Call that counter.
Call that counter. You want to do one more random?
Yes. What is the craziest, most outrageous thing you want to achieve in life?
Alternative fuel sources. Wild. That'll never happen.
Crazy. Alternative food fuel sources.
It'll never happen. What do you think?
What's the craziest? Well, that can be anything.
Anything.
Like it, not like bound by the laws of physics, or
There's no specification on this one.
so I'm
It's-
gonna say, let's say it has to exist in the physical world, because
Okay.
otherwise it's just gonna be too bananas,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Right.
It's gonna be too much. I would like to invent, or not really discover, but like maybe discover, but invent or discover something that has a significant impact on the world outside of. Well, obviously my field doesn't have any, but outside of anything, you know how like I can't remember. There's like, you know, Brian May from he's a guitarist. He worked on like one of the Moon projects or whatever. He was from Queen. It's like stuff like that, like something that's way outside of my field that I should have no business knowing anything about. That all of a sudden they just figure like, oh, Simon figured out gravity. What? Like when? Between shows on a Friday, just came off stage and he's like, you know what? Gravitons are probably real and this is how they work. And everyone's like, that can't be it. Holy fuck!
Yeah,
you know, like
that'd
just
be
one
fucking crazy.
Goodwill Hunting moment,
Oh, yeah.
and then go right back to being an idiot. Just and so but then you're booked on lecture tours forever as this genius, and you have no fucking idea about anything other than that. So they're like, so you figured out gravity? Yeah, it basically works on this, and it's polarization of the
every
ions, and
podcast.
they're like, okay, cool. So what do you think about Einstein's theory? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Okay, I like to watch Survivor Man, and and I like Snickers. That's all I got, and I know how gravity works. It's like one thing.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
I'll be serious for a second.
Yeah.
I think I would probably actually, ideally, want to find a cure that makes my eyebrows grow back because I overplucked them.
There's a lot of people from the 90s with that problem.
Yeah. I feel like we could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of trauma out there.
Yeah.
There should be a GoFundMe.
Yeah, it's called Rogaine. You're not allowed to put it on your face. I tried.
You're not allowed to put it on your face?
Yeah.
I think I would disagree. Also,
heard if
you
you
can't
rub
see
the-
my dick. Anyway,
I heard if you rub Viagra on your face, it's really good for getting rid of wrinkles.
if you put Viagra on your face,
Crush it up, make it a paste, and you put it on your face, it gets rid of wrinkles.
is there anything that thing can't do? Like
Yeah.
get old men to leave you alone?
The thing it was designed for, which was help hearts.
Does it not do that properly?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, you never hear about, like, everyone says Viagra, they're like, oh yeah, that helped my uncle's heart. Like, no, I
bet it did.
That helped my uncle when he divorced my aunt.
Helped his heart in
I don't think that stuff scares me
though.
though. Like, stuff like that scares me though, because anytime, like, I don't like
Pills?
medication in general.
Yeah.
Like I have headaches almost every day, so I have to take Advils and stuff to function. And I do have migraines, but I mean, pills don't fucking do anything for that. You just kind of have to write it out. But I mean, if I can catch it early enough, I can function for the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pretty much have a headache I'd say out of every month, 20 days a month, I have headaches. And so I have to take pills, right? I don't have a choice because
That's
I can't
why
function.
you are the way you are.
Yeah, my brain's just too big, guys. And it's just,
We've all
it's
said
just
that.
trapped in there. It's like one of those sponges you put in water and the glass is so small. But I have headaches all the time, and so I have to take a pill. And I just don't like the idea of putting some, because anything that can affect you negatively.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like when people go crazy with these herbal supplements, like people go crazy with green tea extracts and fuck their livers. And like anything you do can have a negative effect. Like
So
you
what
know,
you're saying is moderation.
moderation in everything in moderation. That's why this
And
podcast is an hour long.
I disagree wholeheartedly. This
You're
is
just
not
pedal
the
to the
house
metal.
that moderation builds.
I mean, I
Fuck.
think we're both on the same
if
team
it's
there.
good, I'm gonna have all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said drinking bourbon. If people don't know, this could be 9 a.m. They got no fucking clue. How would you like to go out?
Do you want to inject heroin into your eyeball?
Heroin in your eyeball.
There's a lot of vascularization in there. That could be a way.
I think I
Oh, there's
found
many
that.
ways. I
Y'all
just
got
don't know
to
the
fill up.
go-to way.
You're gonna fill up your vitreous humor with heroin.
You know how in heroin
Heroin, the show.
they like pull the hair, they pull the blood out, and they like mixes with the heroin.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that to your eyeball and it deflates, and then you. I want to see that.
Pump it back up. You can see really
Before
well
I
for like
die.
it's like when an old alternator in a car's about to go. Everything gets really bright for a second, and then it shuts down. Like your eyes just like I can see time, and then I figure out gravity, and then my eyes just stop working.
Oh my god.
That was the key the whole time. And it turns out this guy just put meth and heroin in his eye at the same time. Took an Advil, fucking solved gravity.
Shit. That's,
Do you think we're ever gonna figure that out? Do you think we'll ever figure out gravity?
I think didn't Newton already do that?
He had some ideas,
had
but
some
quite frankly, the
theories.
guy's a bit of a dipshit. No, I mean
He just dropped an apple
figured out
and
how to
was like,
control it.
okay.
I think we know it exists. Are we ever gonna figure out it works as things are flying off the table?
It's almost like you've never heard of trampoline.
Trampoline?
I think that's
Is
how
that
you
a
control
medication
gravity.
you can take? Have you tried trampoline? You're up and then you're down, and then you're up and down, and you're up and down. It's an antidepressant.
Do not take if you're
Antidepressant.
also on yo-yo.
Yeah. Oh man, I mixed up my doses and knew nothing. Just fucking sitting here.
Now I'm flattered.
Don't take it if you're also on yo-yo. Oh fuck, that's great. Trampoline the drug, yo-yo the drug. Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about.
Heroin eyeballs, but then
Heroin
also
eyeballs, yeah.
something else.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it
Oh,
was.
gravity? You were concerned about its
No, I was just saying, like,
existence?
because I think there's a few things stopping us from meaningful space travel. All right, not enough billionaires. We need more billionaires, right?
Yeah,
Because
more
we're gonna
Lance
get
Bass.
this done,
More
guys.
Lance Bass.
More Lance Bass. More Shatner. We've only got a few years left before he can't go to space again. We got to return him to the
We're
library.
just sending washed up stars up there. Lance Bass,
Shatner.
Shattered. Any
Yeah.
relevant people going up?
I'll go. Would you go?
Oh, fuck no, I'm afraid of heights real bad. Yeah, no, that's
But
just...
technically,
no.
that's not a height at that point. Technically, it's just it's not a height.
Upside
'cause You're
down?
outside.
Are you under down?
Well, you're outside, so you're
Upside
just
down?
there.
Yeah, I never thought
There's no
about
height.
that.
There's no nothing.
You know, also, I watched this video one time because my boyfriend sat me down and was like, you gotta watch this. And I was like, uh-oh, like, is this... Like,
Loose change.
Is our relationship contingent on me paying attention? Because
Oh,
I
shit.
won't. Because like,
It's a chicken on a bicycle. Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, Steve
Yeah.
got it right.
Steve. It was the expansion of the universe and how it will just keep expanding and how it will die out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it terrified me so much that I still, every time he's like, oh, I'm showing my students the time lapse video. I'm like, la 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 la
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
la 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 la.
Is your boyfriend Yoda? That sounded like Yoda.
Me teach kids.
My son has real concern because he doesn't actually kind of concern. He's just curious because we've discussed that the sun got about 4 billion years left. It's about
Yeah.
halfway. It's about halfway done. Maybe 5
Yeah,
billion
yeah.
years left. He's concerned about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how to tell you this to you. Even if you drink all your milk and you take care of yourself, 4 billion's a bit much. And I also tried to explain to him, I was like, look, human beings essentially,
driving a little
as we
high,
are
bud.
like 300,000 years old, and in the last basically 70 years, we've done everything. So I'm like, if you think of what we've done in 70 years, and dinosaurs were around for hundreds of millions of years, which is even close to 1 billion years, by the time this happens, humans won't exist in any way that we recognize, or we'll either be able to fix it or not give a fuck, because we'll be in a different place. Like, we're not going to be on Earth in 4 billion
Something
years.
else will have evolved.
Oh, yeah, plastic bags.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
Totally.
They're
why they're trying to
they're
ban
not
them.
gonna break down. No, but they're gonna become the overlords. Like why?
Is that your plastic bag?
Just the plastic bag. Just the rising from the... I was 25 cents. How are we doing for time?
We're good.
We're good?
Yeah,
We did it?
hour in.
That's it? Fuck.
Yeah.
Dang.
You guys flew by. That was awesome.
You should come back.
I would love to come
We'll
back.
come back next time when I'm not driving, and then
Yeah.
we'll just drink all the because I
Yes.
can drive. So to drive, and then next time
I
we'll do
love
it at the
bourbon.
end. We'll do a podcast at the end, so we'll do really fucking drunk.
And we could do some
Um,
eyeball heroin.
What eyeball heroin, right?
No, I don't support eyeball heroin.
No, don't do eyeball heroin. .com.
Your face is
.org. It's .org actually. It's a community
.edu.
organization. .edu. So, what would you like to tell people? Where can they find you?
You can find me not at my job. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I should have rephrased that.
Yeah.
the call that counter is broken now. This is awesome.
This is the biggest callback episode we've ever had.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so
this is
funny.
you-
None of
you-
my sets do I ever do a callback. 'Cause I forget.
To get it all out here. This is how it works.
You're saving him for this.
Yeah, this is
There
the
you go.
infectious
This is
disease
it.
that is the comedy podcast that we do.
Thanks so much. You can check me out on the Instagram at Alannah Brittany, and then I post all my shows on there.
Cool.
And I
Nice.
don't know if I'll have any other big shows. I have a corporate coming up where I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's a multi-level marketing company,
Nice.
and I can't wait.
Nice.
gonna
You
make
have to bring 2 other comedians, and they bring 2 other comedians.
yeah.
I see how it works.
And if I get enough, I'll finally get a Mercedes.
They just take a picture of you. Alannah did great. The openers did not.
Yeah.
Because they didn't
Like
get enough
Alannah.
comedians. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for
I appreciate
having me.
it.
Thank
It
you
was
for
really
having
nice
me.
to
That
have you.
was
Thank you, Mikey Greenwood, for
problem.
being here, and
Yeah.
it's good to see you again, buddy. It's
good to be seen again.
I think if you want, by the way, if you are enjoying the podcast and you like it, thanks. If you don't like it, fucking what are you watching it for? You got other things to do. If you're enjoying the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe, and share it around. We're trying to get at least a dozen listeners by Christmas. That's our goal. Because our secret Santa right now is just Mikey and I, and it doesn't work. It's just him looking at me and me looking at him. I wonder who got me this. It's just Mike Greenwood's beard tonic. I'm like, I think I know who gave me this. And yes, and if you're listening to it, watch it on YouTube. And if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/This Is Simon King, you will get a bonus episode every month, plus discounts on tickets, and lots of great stuff like that. Go to my website, thisissimonkking.com, and you can find all my tour dates. Thank you very much. One more time, Alannah Brittany.
Yeah,
One more
and
time,
Simon
Mike
has a
Greenwood.
special on YouTube.
I have a special on YouTube called, the link's at the end of this. Fucking whatever.
Watch it over and over. It's hilarious.
That's old
So
news.
good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you very
that's
much. Awesome
what's
job.
wrong this week.
Yay!